Have you ever wondered if small changes actually makes a difference? Or maybe you felt overwhelmed by everything we should be doing to live more sustainably and didn't know where to really start. You are not alone, and that is exactly what we're exploring onto today's episode of Mama Earth Talk. Hi, Crazy Birds, and welcome to another episode of Mama Earth Talk, where we dive into real conversations about sustainability, share honest stories, and explore practical ways to reduce waste, go green, and live more consciously. I'm your host, Mariska Nell, and today we are doing something a little bit different. There is no guest joining me. It is just me in this solo episode, and we are having a heart-to-heart about Earth Month and why it is not just about doing everything, but about starting with something. Now, Earth Month will always have an extra special place in my heart because back in 2018, myself and Marita wore all our waste from Earth Hour to Earth Day, which was a big chunk of Earth Month. And it really became that catalyst that got people asking so many questions about what they could do. And for a lot of them, they actually saw their own waste in, kind of reflecting back at them through my trash chute. And through all of that, it was those conversations that actually led me to start Mama Earth Talk back in 2018 and to continue sharing and exploring the questions that I've been asked so often. So, wow, what a journey it has been, honestly. So here we are again, so many years on, Earth Month. And yeah, it is definitely my favorite year of the month. Not only do we get to celebrate Earth Day, Earth Month, it's also my birthday and the birthdays of so many of my favorite humans, including the late and the great Dr. Jane Goodall, who I was honored to interview on the podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, I also have something really exciting to share with you, which we will get to right now. But basically, April is Earth Month. And I don't know about you, but sometimes this month can feel so overwhelming because you've all of a sudden got all of this information, like everyone is posting tips and what you could be doing. And instead of really feeling inspired by it all, we can feel stuck. Like, where do we even begin? Am I doing enough? And here is what I want to say right from the start. This is a journey. Being on the sustainable journey, it is not about doing everything. It is about doing what you can where you are. Because sustainability isn't built on big, perfect actions. It's really about all of those small, consistent ones. So this year, I wanted to take a step that I felt was really aligned with that message, not something that's going to be overwhelming, not something that's unrealistic, but something that could genuinely help you take those first steps. So for this entire month of April, I've actually decided to make my Living Lighter, a practical guide to reducing waste course, completely free. So you can go to the link in the show notes. It's also on our Instagram, and you can click on there and you can get our online course. At the checkout, it's going to ask you to put in an amount because I basically I couldn't make it free. Like it said, they have to put in a amount. So if you put in the amount of 0, it will allow you to check it out. So that's kind of the hack around it. It's not going to say free. You just have to type in $0 and you're good to go. And this just isn't any course. This was really something that I created from my own journey. The ups, the down, the messy middle part, and all the lessons that I actually wish I knew when I started. So inside this course, you're going to find 5 practical modules that's going to guide you through this journey. There's 38 easy to follow videos, and don't be like, whoa, 38, that's a lot. It is really easy enough that you can actually watch all the videos, because some of them is a little bit longer. Some of them's like, 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe even shorter. So you can literally sit and watch them through in one sitting. However, there are some fun activities, with some of the things that I highly recommend you do, because that is what is going to add most value for you. So in there, we also have a 21 habit like building guide that can really help you make these items that you want to change actually part of your life and become a habit. We also have like 150 extra eco-friendly actions. So if you go like, oh, I've done all of this, what do I do next? You can kind of just go through the list and see which one, would work best for you. But the most important part is like, this is not a course about overwhelming you with information. It's really about helping you to start small, to build confidence, and to create those habits that actually stick. Because the truth is, you don't need to take 150 actions. You just need to take one action that you'll actually do. Now, let's talk about this idea of small steps, because when it sounds simple, but it is incredibly powerful, think about something like a plastic water bottle. One bottle might not be a big deal, but if you use one bottle a day, that's 365 bottles a year. Now, imagine just swapping that one habit. Suddenly, you've reduced hundreds of items without changing your whole life a lot. And that is the magic of these small steps. They don't feel overwhelming, but they can have real impact over time. Now, some of the biggest lessons that I've learned in this journey is you need to start with something that feels easy. Now, not something that is trendy on Instagram or TikTok. You don't want to start because something looks impressive. But what you want to really do is you want to get something that actually fits into your life. Because if something feels too hard, you're likely not going to stick to it. You might start, you might do it for a week or two, but you are not going to stick to it. And this is something I talk about in this course as well. So your journey should be personal and practical. There's no cookie cutter that's going to work for one person, it's definitely going to work for another. It is so personal. So we need to kind of treat it that way and go in knowing that as well. Now, let me share a few simple, realistic tips that you can actually try this Earth Month. And remember, don't overwhelm yourself. Pick one or two and kind of make that, part of your daily life. So tip 1 is swap one daily habit. So look at your routine. What is something that you use every single day, and start there. So this could be the reusable water bottle, a coffee cup, a shopping bag, just like one swap, which can have a big long-term impact. Now, the second tip is to let your bin guide you. What I mean here is, let's have a look at our bins, and we go through the course actually through bin audits as well. But this is one of the most eye-opening things that you can do. For a few days, just notice, what are you throwing away? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to kind of observe. And, because once you've seen these patterns, you know exactly where to start. Tip number 3 is make it convenient. If your sustainability swap isn't convenient, you probably won't stick with it. So let's make it easy. Keep reusable bags in your car, carry a water bottle in your bag, maybe set some reminders if you need to. And this will really help you to set yourself up for success. Now, tip 4 is waste less food. Now, food waste is such a simple place to start. We can try, instead of throwing food away, we can use it as leftovers. We can actually plan our meals, and if there's extra food, we can freeze them. Now, it is better for the planet. It is a lot better on your wallet, as around 1/3 of food that is being produced is actually wasted. So, definitely one that we can focus on as well. And change, like tip number 5 is to change the question. So instead of asking, am I doing enough? Try to ask, what is one thing I can do better today? That small mindset shift really changes everything. And like, that's, kind of one of the hardest things to do is to let go of that perfection. So let's talk about perfection for a second because it can really hold us back. You might think, if I can't do it perfectly, why do I even try? But here's the truth, like, perfection isn't sustainable, like, progress is. So you will forget your reusable bag sometimes. You will make choices that aren't ideal, and that's okay because what matters is that you keep going. The fact that you're standing in that grocery store and like, oh my gosh, I forgot my bag, that is progress because you probably 3 months or 2 months or I don't know how long back might have automatically not even think about it and yes, bag please or something, so that is definitely, some improvements. And you know you are part of something bigger. So every small action that you take, even if it feels very tiny, you are doing your part for something much bigger. And that is a global shift towards being more conscious, like living, having less waste, making better choices. And it really starts with individuals like you and me. So, this Earth Month, I am putting a challenge forth to you. And I'm not going to, contradict what I said earlier. It is a simple challenge. Choose one small step. That's it. You don't have to do 10. You don't have to do everything. Just one. And stick with it. Because that one step is how everything begins. It might be hard at the beginning, but then it kind of has this snowball. And before you know it, you are doing more than, just the one, but it needs to start somewhere. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. The planet doesn't need a few people doing sustainability perfectly. It needs millions of people doing it imperfectly. So, whatever step you take this month, celebrate it, be proud of it, and know that this actually matters. So, that is it for today's episode of Mama Earth Talk. It's a nice and short one this month. Uh, just thank you so much for listening, Crazy Birds. If this episode resonated with you, please do share it with a friend or someone who might need a gentle reminder. And also, just by you sharing these episodes, it really helps our podcast to reach more people, allow us to actually grow, and to continue bringing you the best podcast episodes we possibly can and some amazing guests. So thank you so much for that. And if you are ready to take that next step, please don't forget you can get the Living Lighter course free this entire month. I'm going to link it in the show notes. And I'd also love to hear your thoughts. What stood out of today's episode? Have you actually started making some of those choices? What is your one thing that you are going to focus on this month? Or maybe you just want to come and say hi. You can always find me on Instagram at Mama Earth Talk. And remember, Mama Earth has a voice, and it's us crazy birds. See you in the next one.